Welcome to Mike's apartment, where we discuss and review drinks. And we also have a little bit of comedy along the way. My name is Mike. I'm your host. With me is my co-host Thom. Thom, how are we doing tonight?
I'm a little distracted by your cleavage, Mike.
Oh my, the ruffles.
Why am I thinking of Ruffles have ridges?
That is
That
a
was
good
the
chip.
potato chip?
That is
Yeah.
a good chip. Tonight we will
So
be reviewing Sapporo, an
oh,
import. Yeah, you have a different type. And then we'll
is it the
be
same flavor or is it? Are they this? I have
they're the same. There's
premium.
no they're all premiums. Yeah. There's no
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
They're just one's in a bottle, one's in a can. Uh we'll be discussing the arts, the fine arts, the theater, and then we'll for our geeky conversation, we will talk about Star Trek's The Borg, a little analysis if you don't mind us saying. So I guess without further ado, let us open up our Sapporos and take our first drinks here. When you're ready, cheers.
Okay. Cheers. I don't know.
To the theater! Mm. All right. So, we're not going to judge it now, but in Mike's
I am.
apartment,
I'm already judging it.
don't, no, 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 no. All right. Anyways, Mike's apartment rating. Five. Five is ambrosia, food of the gods, best of the best. You're not going to get better. Zero. Zero is shit. Shit of the gods. Nasty, nasty, nasty. Now we are gonna mull over our drinks for a little bit while we discuss our serious converse. Well, we say serious, as serious as can be. And I'm sorry about the. You guys can totally go off on me for being a neckbeard, because on today's episode, I am definitely a neckbeard that I am wanted to shave, but anyways, unfortunately, I did not. So, anyways, the fine arts, the theater. Thom, let's talk about your experience in that environment and how it led to you today, to being
Well,
the fine, well-rounded individual you are today, which is completely not true. I'm just kidding.
well, at least I can act like I'm well balanced.
I
Yeah.
see what you're saying. You're saying putting on a little frilly shirt and having. Oh,
Yeah.
I love. I will say this. This is the okay. The the ruffles I could do, or the collar here I could do with or not. But I like the wrist. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like it's nice. You got a little tight. Like the shirt just
Mm-hmm.
stays. I don't know. There's something about that tightness around the wrists that's nice. But anyways,
Yeah.
and I'm sorry for interrupting.
Yeah. Yeah,
Go ahead.
no, let's see. I think it was around 81 because I was about four. I remember
Damn you old.
my mom was going to be the director of a church musical, and I wanted to be in it. And so what I did, it might have been 82, I can't remember, but I prepared and choreographed me singing the theme song to the Transformers. It's like Transformers more than meets the eye, and I wanted that to use that as an audition to get into the play because I wanted to be in it, and my mom wouldn't even let me audition. And so, and not only that, but they had like props up on stage. And she took my Atlas van line moving truck that had like the big trailer like this and the front whatever and the back. It was a I loved that truck. It was one of my favorite toys. She took it without my fucking permission. And wouldn't even let me be in the play. I was like, you can't use my truck if I can't be in the play. But she used it anyways. So,
How
but
dare
anyways,
she? What a bit. This got you ready for the theater because it was such a bitter betrayal that you now need to put a performance to. Anyways, go on.
so later on though, as I got older, I was in a lot of like church theater, musicals or dramas, whatever, and then around seventh grade, You know, we had gone from homeschool back to public school, and when we moved back to Minnesota, and there was a children's theater from Missoula, Montana. It's called Missoula Children's Theater. Came through, and they would do a play in a week. So they would like on Monday they'd have auditions, and then they'd have performances on Saturday and Sunday, and a performance for the school on Friday afternoon. They were doing Jack and the Beanstalk, and I auditioned and got the part of Jack. I was like, yay, whatever.
Dang those
Apparently,
beans!
so I I learned a lot about selling stuff on the DL, which prepped me for my future jobs. Um, no, I'm
as
kidding.
a drug dealer, yes.
So yeah, we were doing our own lines, I mean, standing in line. Uh, no, I'm kidding.
Give me
But
some
anyways,
exact. Hold on before you go too far here. What were these? Were they all just like Bible verse church plays? Were they?
no, this one, the Jack and the Beanstalk, was a school play with a music theater group that sent a couples or pair of people out to different schools around the country,
Mm-hmm.
and they would have auditions on Monday, and then do a they we'd have practices throughout the week and learn our lines and do the show for the school on Friday, and then a couple shows on Saturday and Sunday, and then they would go on to the next town.
But what was the
So
content? What was the content of? Like, what were you
well,
doing?
it was just children's theater, so it was like acting
So
and music. It was
West Side
music.
Story, right? West Side
There's
Story, and
yes, yeah, it was musicals and stuff like that. And
it was Hamilton.
um, no, we never did
Just
Hamilton.
kidding.
We did Hansel
Hamilton
and
was came out
Gretel.
in 2016, so I'd be a little
We
surprised if
we
you
did
had.
I remember we did Hansel and Gretel. We did Alice in Wonderland. I was in them every year
Hmm.
until I graduated.
That sounds
But
great,
then
actually.
also it was a lot of fun. But at the time, I was not learning lines the way I probably should have. Where later in life, what I would do is I would like read through the script, get a feel for the story and the progression, and then it made it easier to memorize the lines. Whereas when I was doing Jack and the Beanstalk, I was memorizing it in sequential order without reading ahead, and it made it super difficult for me to memorize all the lines. So but then I also got involved in the schools theater. Our choir every other year did what they called a madrigal dinner, where we had a group, we had like the big choir, and they were like the servants and the peasants and stuff like that, and it was a medieval setting. And then we had a smaller group of like 16 people, 8 men, 8 women, called the chamber singers. And well, the my senior year, I was we had an odd number of guys to women, and so the director asked me to be the jester, the court jester, who was like the main, MC and all that kind of stuff. And we would do a little show, we would sing, we had people mixing with the crowd and all that, and there was a big feast. I remember. My senior year. I was in it my sophomore year too, but I was like
Now,
a different character.
one
But
quick little interjection here. Because it was the theater and there was an
uh-huh.
odd number of men and women, I'm surprised they didn't just pair you up with another man. I hear that
Eh,
the theater is a
no,
very
the
safe space for those with that
no the
interest, that proclivity.
director wrote the program every year, and he wrote the court jester with me in mind to play it. So
Are
um,
you sure that was a compliment? I'm just kidding. He made
anyways,
you the jester.
so but I was involved in like the school's theater program, the drama department, speech, which speech isn't just about giving speeches. I mean, they had like dramatic duo where you would
Hmm.
stay, and it wasn't like when you were interacting with each other and so like dramatic duo, you had three positions you could stand in. You can kind of stand facing each other, but you're not allowed to look at each other. Just kind of at an angle. You could stand both facing
Hmm.
out, or you could stand at an angle with your backs to each other. And then you would do a piece, some dramatic or sometimes funny, whatever. So I did all of that kind of stuff in
What
high
one
school.
one one quick interjection.
Hmm.
I didn't do all the theater stuff you're discussing, but speech. We called it declam at the time in Minnesota, and me and I won't say their names, but from our group, J,
Hmm.
not M, not but but let's just call him Jack because he doesn't give a shit. But that's also a very common name. Me, Jack, a few other people. Actually, all 4 years of high school, I did declam and speech. I did creative writing 2 years. I did debate 1 year, and then I did do a dramatic duo, which yeah no. So I'm familiar with the
Yeah.
categories. Um,
I never did debate, but
debate was hard, but anyways,
when I
it was all part.
graduated,
They
they had
called
me
it
come back as a
declam.
judge. Yeah.
Yeah, they called it the clam. I don't know what it's. I actually have no idea like what the acronym means, but yes, that was like one of the things. All of our English teachers went with us. We got bussed
Yeah.
everywhere. We even one time, I think it was ninth grade, if I remember correctly. We actually stayed at a hotel. It was so far up north. It was like by Duluth, but maybe even past that. We were competing up there, and we actually
Mm.
stayed in a hotel. And it was like from my young perspective, that was like the craziest thing. It was so much fun, but I won't go. Well, hold on. You know what? This is my one chance to get into it, and I'm never gonna have another chance. So I'm gonna, if I can, get in focus here. Let me say what happened. We went to the sauna, and that was very risque. There yes, female members of the clan with male members, and then we had I won't name her, but she told us that at 3 a.m. she was going to run up and down the hallway naked. She's going to take off all of her clothes and run up and down the hallway naked. We all got up at 3 a.m. Nothing happened. Such a disappointment. It was a disappointment to my young. I was like 14 or 15 at the time, but it was such a disappointment. Oh, yeah, also too, when we first got to like the rooms, like we weren't in like the right rooms. They were mixed because like everyone who was doing declam up there was like staying at like the same hotel, and there were these other ladies, let's just say from another school, and we definitely appreciated talking with them. Let's just say that. Anyways, I'm just saying, yeah. Go on. I mean, I'm sorry for interrupting, but I think those
No, no,
stories
that's
were
fine.
important. Because the thing is
No.
this: if I don't tell them now, I'm pretty sure Mister Tight Wrist here is never gonna get Mister Ruffly Shirt is never gonna get
Mm.
another chance to really say it. But yeah, those were some good. No, those were some of the best
Yeah.
memories I have of it. But anyways, continue
Yeah.
on,
Well,
my good jester. We're gonna get you a jester hat and make you wear it.
I remember uh, about the time that I did that my senior year when I was the jester.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we the movie Batman and Robin was going to be coming out,
Oh.
and so I actually sent a tape of that in as an audition for Batman and Robin. Never heard anything back on it. Apparently, it was just too good, and they decided they wanted to go with somebody like Chris O'Connell or whatever his name is. What's his name who played Robin?
Yeah,
But
Chris O'Donnell. Chris
Chris
O'Donnell.
O'Donnell.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, maybe it wasn't that year. It was the 2 years before because I played in that show. They had me play a character named Robin D Boy Wonder, and then they paired me, a short guy, with the tallest guy in our grade. His name was Justin. He was like 6'11", and then he wore these special basketball shoes that under the toe part, the front part of the shoe had like an extra thing, and nothing under your heel. It was supposed to help build your calf muscles.
Hmm.
He wore those throughout the entire performance. So he's like 7.5 feet tall almost with me, and his name was Friar Duck. Because I kept on telling him Friar Duck, whatever. Anyways, I sent that. I think
Did
I sent
they
that tape in.
did they call you Tyrion? No, I'm just kidding.
Nah,
No,
no,
no, okay.
no. But anyways, I was just robbing D-Boy Wonder. But
D
anyways,
boy. I don't know that that's a very appropriate nickname for you, or whatever it was, but okay. I will say,
so
I mean, the truth is this. I mean, yeah, you're how tall are you, Tom? If you don't mind,
about 5'4".
5'4".
Mm-hmm.
So I'm about 6'3". Uh,
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah,
theater. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's not what made me tall. I was just born tall. I don't know. I mean, you'll see if anyone goes to see our YouTube channel, you'll see the difference in height. It
yeah.
doesn't. Ladies out there, you know what? I am so sick of you women sitting there upset about men judging you for your weight or your breast size or whatever else. Yet you sit there and consistently judge men based on their height. It's ridiculous. It's a double standard, and you know what? We won't stand for it. If you want to
I'm gonna sit
judge,
down for it.
yeah, we're not. Yeah, I will sit down for it. He will keep standing up for it. And just kidding. I'll just say
Give you a back rub.
you're upset about men being obsessed with certain metrics on the female body. Well, you know what? Women are obsessed with height. Who cares how tall a dude is? Who cares? It doesn't matter. I'm 6'3", but you don't see me like whatevering
Well,
about it.
Mike, just to that point, real quick. So I've been trying to like lose weight and stuff over the years, and it's been really hard. And so what I decided to do was quit with the diet and just focus on growing taller until my ideal weight is appropriate for whatever height I get to. So
That sounds like a good
I'm gonna work.
strategy.
I'm gonna work on that. But no, just to kind of wrap things up here with my theater. I mean, I was in theater in college as well. Did a lot of
Hmm.
musicals. Did a lot of plays that weren't necessarily musicals, but and I've always been involved in all the music groups, band and choir and smaller groups. But after that, I did a little bit of acting at a church when I moved down to the Minneapolis area. But since then, I haven't really done much outside of some of the movies and stuff I've helped work with you and some other friends on. And I've acted in them. I've done the music for them, or some of the music. But so
Well, I think it's time you and I, hit up the church. We're gonna do Cain and Abel. No, I'm just kidding. Cain and Abel is the best one. We're gonna the story of Cain and Abel. I think that's the best Bible story we could do. Now, who want? I get to be Cain. No, I'm just kidding. No. Sorry, buddy. No, I'm just kidding. Um. All right. So. All right. That gives us a good idea on your background. I did not do a lot of those later things. In college, I was, and I have a graduate degree in science. Um, and my bachelor's degree is also in science. I
Mhm.
was at the time told to avoid the arts and go into science because there was no money in the artsy type stuff. They're like, there's no point to it. I had multiple family members telling me, stick to the sciences, just take math and science classes, don't do the arts. And then, here I am later. All I all I want to do is the arts. I couldn't, I don't need those math skills. I don't need those science skills. None of it really made my life better. What I would have preferred to have done was I I'm a performer. I would love to perform. Why do you guys think Mike's apartment even exists? Mike's apartment exists because we want to perform. I want to be on the screen. And you know what? Yes, no, I'll never be in Hollywood. I've accepted that. I've accepted that I will never be like on the big screen. I will never be, everyone's whatever. That will never happen in my life. But YouTube has granted me this opportunity that it doesn't matter. Who gives a shit? You know what? I can be on the screen still, and if you want to watch it, you can. Or if you don't, turn it off and go somewhere else. It's all good. But I'm just saying, like Like, this is what I wanted the entire time, and instead, what I did not correspond to those desires because I was listening to
Mm.
other people. I thought other people were right, and they were so wrong. Like the job I
I heard
have
the same
now.
thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like the job I have now, I could have had without any of that college. It's all a bunch of bullshit. So you know what? Do Here's my only. So we'll end this on like this note before we go on to Star Trek. We'll just say this.
Oh, the rating.
Yeah, or we'll do the rating too. But do what makes you happy. Don't don't listen to family members. Don't listen to friends. Listen to your heart.
That's
When she's talking to you, listen to
oh,
your heart.
Roxette. That's Roxette,
Yeah,
by the way.
Roxette. When she's calling for you. Continue on, Tom. When you know. Come on, Tom. Come on, Tom. You're more musical than I am. Do I need to send you one of these white shirts to get you to? Are you moving, Tom? Tom?
Okay. I
I didn't. You skipped for a second there, but anyways,
yeah
I need you
yeah.
to back me up here, Tom.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get my. No, no, crap.
Hmm?
My guitar's in the other room.
No, no, we don't need a guitar. Just some singing.
I'm trying to remember how the harmonies went on that song. I
Listen to
just
your
remember
heart.
I had that CD that actually no, I think it's the greatest hits for Roxette. But anyways, uh, one thing I forgot to mention,
Okay.
uh,
Mhm.
puppets.
Oh, puppetry.
I
Oh my.
when I was a little kid in Sunday school, they taught us how to do puppets in like the 80s. And then fast forward to the 90s, our youth group was able to attend at another church puppeteering uh, uh, a few sessions on how to do puppets. And I learned how to do like the stick hands, and I could make a puppet like, uh, pat its head and rub its tummy. And
I'm
I,
impressed.
I learned how to do the puppets that had like a person's hand or two-person puppet where you have one person doing the head and one person doing the hands, like the Swedish Chef. Um, and I remember I have you remember those monkey puppets that you could wrap the arms around your neck and the around your waist, the legs around your waist,
No.
and then you could wait. Do you want to see it?
No. No.
Okay, okay. Anyways,
Well, just
I
needless
got
to
my
say,
mom got mad
puppetry
at
is
me.
your skill.
So when I learned how to be a ventriloquist, and my mom got mad at me because I got her talking to my monkey when she knew it was me. And I when a missions trip to Mexico, I was supposed to do puppets for the Bible verse one day, and apparently I did a good enough job that they wanted me to do it every day, and I never got to go out and meet people because I was always doing the puppets. But I would do things like they would hold the microphone by my face as I was doing the puppet, right? And then we had the translator was holding a microphone by my puppet's mouth, and then she'd move it away to talk. And so then if I was talking when she moved the microphone away, I would move my face away from the microphone, and then the person's like trying to follow me. I was like, no, no, don't do that. So, but it made it look like when she moved the microphone away, it sounded like it was, it looked real and sounded real, and they really liked that. But I miss doing puppets. I would love to do a video or a movie or something with our friends where I could do puppets again.
Uh, I know J Name would love to. You know what? I would do it too. Anything for the arts. I would do anything. I would strip myself naked and run through the streets if that meant
We could do like a
entertaining.
Gremlins 3 movie or something.
Uh,
So which once
no.
you know this, you can't unsee it. Like when there's like a gremlin on somebody and they're kind of like stumbling around the room, that person is doing the gremlin puppet part, and they just have a fake arm around the puppet or something. But
All right,
Anyways,
so you are skilled as a puppeteer and in the
yeah,
arts of puppetry. All right,
I
why
missed it.
don't you
I
tell
love it.
us? Why don't you tell us what you think about Sapporo? Boop beep beep beep
Uh,
beep boop boop
at
boop beep
first, I
beep.
didn't quite like the aftertaste. It was kind of, just a second.
Oh my, Tom. Oh my.
It's not as bright as some of the other beers we've had that I liked. Gave around a 3 year or so. Um, it's drinkable, but I might give it like a 2.75 maybe. Because I mean,
You
I
said,
didn't like it as much as that last beer we had, and that was, I think I gave it 3. So
how dare you, sir? How
how
dare you?
dare you, sir? Was that the Sam Adams we had last time? I don't remember, but
That was the Boston Lager. I don't know
oh,
if that's what we had
oh,
last time, but yeah. All right, so you said 2.75.
hmm.
I'm going to give it a 4. I love its taste. It it tingles upon my lips and then into my tongue. And then and then and then oh, I can do it. It's so good. I love it. It's really, really good. I really, really like it. I'd say 4.0. Oh my god. I really like it. It's my jam, guys. It's my theater. Oh.
Hmm.
All right. All right. So we've decided that point. We shall move on for the moment. And now, for our final segment here, our geeky side talk conversation, we will talk about Star Trek's The Borg. We will talk about the hierarchy. We will talk about the drones and the Queen and everything else. We will talk about how they assimilate other cultures. And I will tell you that in this segment with Thom, I shall expect nothing less than perfection from Thom, which is the same that the Borg Queen demands of all of her drones. Perfection. Go on, Thom.
So the Borg were introduced at the end of season 3 of The Next Generation, the Best of Both Worlds, which started out as a Riker episode because he ended up getting command of the ship that he wanted, the Enterprise, and
Mm-hmm.
at the end he has a chance to take out Picard. Is he gonna do it? Whatever. And then when I watched I watched it as it aired, and we had to wait for the next season to come out to see what happened. Um, and of course, they rescued Picard, and he had some band-aids on his head at the end. And but apparently they didn't get all the tech out. Um, but I was curious why with Picard they got all of the ones you could see out, whereas with Seven of Nine she still had like that eye thing and some other like a hand thing or whatever. But I mean, I'm not asking about that specific. I just kind of questioned
Hold
that.
on,
But
hold on, hold on.
uh,
We can answer that pretty quick. That's a very easy answer.
okay.
Picard had the entire resources of the Federation and
Oh,
Starfleet Medical at his
that's a good
disposal. On Voyager, Seven of Nine had the Doctor and one ship's resources
resources.
on. So I would say like Locutus of Borg, which was Picard's alter ego, when he was doing whatever. Because they wanted they decided that the people of the Federation would respond better to a hierarchical command, like a single leader. They would respond better to that. But yeah, no, the big deal was, yeah, he had access to a lot more technology and the resources of the entire Federation to help him. They were able to get everything out. It couldn't happen with
Yeah,
Seven of Nine
I could
because she
see
had
that.
one
Yeah.
ship. So, anyways, I would say
I mean,
that's the
that's
answer to
fine.
that. Yeah.
I wasn't like hung up on it. But I have heard I watched the Red Letter Media channel a lot,
Hmm.
and Mike and Rich Evans are really into the Star Trek
Oh, I
ones. So,
see. There's another
eh,
Mike in your life. I see how it
yeah,
is.
Mike Stoklasa. He has a house, I think.
Well, you know what? Do you know what?
But
Does he does he put this on? Does he put ruffles on like I do? Of course he doesn't.
he put a horse's head on a few times.
He
But
should have. Well, he
no,
clearly
anyways,
isn't.
one thing they commented on. So in Star Trek, um, First Contact, which I guess it was actually an episode of Star Trek called Star Trek First Contact.
Yes,
It might have been Next Gen. I can't remember. But anyways, the movie First Contact, they
movie is
they
great.
encounter
Yeah.
the Borg, and that Borg sphere ends up going back in time, and they follow it, and they go back to meet Zephyr Cochrane or whatever, and then we get introduced to the concept of the Borg having a queen,
Yep.
and like the Red Letter Media guys weren't necessarily sure if they liked that or I can't I'm trying to remember exactly how I think it's mostly Rich was commenting on it um but anyways I'm like I don't know it's okay but does every cube have a queen because it seems like Janeway
I feel like
encountered a Borg
not.
queen and
I feel like
but
not because in the Delta Quadrant, the one queen was like deep in Borg space, and she was able to control the motions of the
all of
Borg,
them
like fall. Yeah, yeah. No, I don't think it's in every cube. I think it's just.
are they kind of like a bee colony where if
Well,
the queen is killed, the bees can take like a larva and give it like this whatever special jelly and nurse it into a queen.
well, that's the thing. Like maybe, I mean, comparing a super race of people who assimilate both the biological and the technological parts of every species to a social insect colony, there might be some huge differences. I would say like a
Well,
lot of
I
the
was
times, well, I would say this.
yeah.
I would say this. A lot of the times they only do so in response to another species if they think they can assimilate that species better with such a such a like a queen, or with Picard a Locutus. If they feel that that's the best way to assimilate, they will do it. But I would say for
Mhm.
the most part, like the drones themselves, like there's no there's no competition. Like there's no desire to they're all just part of the collective, right? Like they're not, like if you want to think about like their psychology for like a second, you could kind of put it like social insects, but like what you said, like that's probably too far off the grid. They don't necessarily need to like put out like some kind of special whatever.
Well,
If
I mean,
if
the
it's
only
in
reason I really,
response to if it's in
yeah,
response to like another thing, they'll create it. But however,
hmm
at the end of Voyager, at the end of Voyager,
hmm
the Borg Queen was there, and they were trying to like meet her because she did not want them. So apparently, in the Delta Quadrant, there are 6 transwarp conduits. One of them goes to the Alpha Quadrant, right? And that was the one, obviously, Janeway, both current Janeway, present Janeway, and future Janeway, they both wanted to use that conduit to get the ship home, but present Janeway wanted to eliminate the Borg's ability to operate, because she was thinking big
Alpha.
picture, like she didn't want them to come wherever. Future Janeway, she had dealt with the death of both Chakotay and Seven of Nine, so she was a little bit less like she just wanted to get the ship home like sooner because it did take another 27 or 23 year whatever it was, like 23 years, to get them home. So long story short, they had at the beginning they had a divergence of things, but back to the Borg though, like the entire time, like what was the Borg Queen thinking? She was okay, like she was okay with the first idea. Like she was like, oh yeah, send Voyager home through the we don't care. But the other Janeway wanted to not only take them home, but then behind them destroy that
The
transwarp
Borg.
conduit
Yeah.
so the Borg could not have an
Yeah.
easy access to Earth and the other Alpha
Hmm.
Quadrant. So the question is like, what are they thinking? Like how does that work with the
Well,
Queen? I don't know.
that wasn't my question. My
Oh, what was your
question
question? I'm sorry.
was more so in First Contact at the end. They release that gas that eats all the organic material,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
And then they have her little skull and mechanical spine, like whatever, and was a card picked it up and broke it, whatever. But then they uh, they had, I think it was in First Contact, they commented how she was there when Locutus was assimilated, and he's like, "How could you be there?" And because that was destroyed, and now you're here. She's like, they didn't really explain it. And then they destroy that queen, and now we have the queen that Janeway deals with. So do they have different hives that have different queens, or now you were saying that the queen is only there if it's necessary for assimilating a certain race.
Sure.
Was that established, or is that something you're pontificating or postulating or whatever?
Pontificate. I'm not
I'm sorry,
pontificating.
this
I'm
shirt
not.
kind of threw me off.
How dare you, sir? Now, okay. Well, you know what though? The how dare you, sir? Let's talk about Q for a second. The
Oh yeah, they
Q
tried to
that
bring Q in.
well, hold on, because that was the first exact contact was because of Q. Remember, he slammed the Enterprise. The Enterprise was like, "Oh,
Oh,
we
oh,
can
you
take on any threats. We
not the
can."
Enterprise. That was Picard.
No, it was the Enterprise though. Too. They sent the whole
Well,
ship.
but yeah, he was on the Enterprise, but Picard was making a speech
Yeah,
about
yeah,
we don't need you.
yeah.
We're
We
prepared for
are.
anything.
Yeah, we can take care of anything. We are ready. Whatever. And so he throws them, and I forget. There is a name for it, and I don't at this time remember it. Um, but yeah, they go there, they encounter the Borg for the first time and have to, make decisions. And then, yeah, I know obviously later on in TNG. So back to your question about like the Borg Queen, maybe per se. I would say I don't think they ever properly 100% answer it. I think in a movie. Oh, so let's just talk out of canon for a sec, like what's practical for a TV show or a movie, right? In a
Hmm.
TV show or a movie, it's a lot more practical to have one person as the leader, right? Like
Hmm.
one person representing the entire. Like that's why in a lot of the shows, even outside of the Borg, there's one person who represents the entire planet. There's one person who represents the entire you know what I mean? It's a lot easier in like a movie or a TV show to deal with one person who's representing whatever instead of having that or to try to somehow represent the Borg, which would really just be like a hive mind, in which case they would have no actor or actress. Maybe they could have a voice or something. But I would just say like
Well, they did
that's
have
why they
that
do it.
modulated voice. We are the Borg,
Well, yeah,
whatever.
they have that, but that's the thing. Like it wasn't enough to like just have that, right? Like they and that's the thing. Again, it's not just the Borg. Like they simplify. Like you would go to a planet. I mean, normally you'd probably have like 20 to 50 leaders. If the planet is not unified, right? Like you would
Hmm.
probably have tons of leaders from different areas, and they'd all want to be represented. But like for a TV show or a movie, it's a lot easier just to have like one. So if you want to know like the real answer is with a Borg Queen, it's easier just to have one person represent them, right? Like not try to do whatever. I don't know. Anyways, long story short, what else can we say about the?
Well, I mean, the Borg showed up in the Picard show. I mean,
Yeah,
because I don't know. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about the first two seasons, and then a lot of raving reviews about the third season, who kind of said "f you" to the first two seasons.
I think they're all
But
good. Personally, I liked all three
I
seasons, but you know,
I only saw the first one. I've seen clips of the
they're
other
good.
two,
They're good. I would
um,
watch them,
and
but yeah,
I,
they're
they
worth it.
they were very different than Star Trek the show. But
They
I think
are.
that was intentional. Star Trek the show was more about like drama and negotiating and all that kind and speeches and I mean they always tried to work in a Picard speech, but it wasn't always
Sure,
like the Picard speeches from the show.
sure.
Um, but I heard I haven't seen it, but I've seen clips and a few reviews of the third season where they people have commented that feels like the final like the first actual successful next generation movie,
I have to.
but in a long
I
format.
have to say yes. So I actually I've seen all three seasons of Picard. I actually feel like they're all worth watching. Really, compared to well, I'm not gonna rag on it. So here's like the thing. Like some of the
Yeah.
newer Star Trek. Let's talk specifically about SFA for a second here, and maybe we need to do an episode on SFA after you've seen it.
Hmm.
That's Starfleet Academy. Starfleet Academy, starring Holly Hunter and they have the other characters. Um, it's good. I like that one too. There it's different. It's definitely different. I would say this: all Star Trek is definitely Star Trek and worth watching at least once. Even if you dislike some of the things, it's still worth watching. But back to
Hmm.
like Picard, because Picard kind of had the more Borg like presence type stuff. I don't know. I mean, you gotta see it, but at the same time, like maybe just like going back here to like the Borg. I mean, again, a lot of what you're wanting to see is Next Generation to begin with, then Voyager. Deep Space Nine didn't deal with them at all. Um, Enterprise, I think, had a two-part series
Yeah, I seen. Didn't they
on
go
the
back in
Borg.
time or
Yeah, they
something
did. They
with the
went to the
Borg?
Arc. They went to the Arctic. Yeah, yeah. Enterprise. They went to the Arctic and they encountered them. Um, that's okay. I mean, it's worth watching once at least. And then yeah, you got the movie. You got First Contact, and then after the movie,
The
you definitely have
card.
Picard. I don't know that. I don't think so in SFA from what I've seen so far, and I've seen through the ninth episode of the first season, which is all that's out now. Now there will be another episode, a 10th episode, and there will be a whole nother season. A whole other second season was already filmed and it's green lighted. So that will come out too. There's been nothing about the Borg and them, and that may have to be about, the burn from Discovery. Um Again, I'm not gonna, this is not the episode to argue or talk about it. Let's just
Yeah,
say this: the Borg are fascinating. They are very different
they are.
from many of the other species that we see. They're not individuals. They're a collective. They're interesting as an enemy, as an adversary. They're very interesting, I would say. And so, for the arts, for the arts,
Yeah.
Tom, do you have anything final to say here, or
Yeah,
anything
I
else you
mean,
wanna?
I think when we were talking about what to talk about,
Sure.
one of the reasons I think I kind of commented on the Borg with Voyager specifically was, and we've commented on this. It's just it still blows my mind that they were such a menacing enemy in the other shows, and yet Voyager seemed to have no problems managing Borg cubes or more than one or whatever, getting away, all that.
Well, they had multiple. So here's the thing. I would say this: Alpha Quadrant Borg and Delta Quadrant Borg are probably very different. And the Delta Quadrant, they have it easy, right? Like they control a large amount of the Delta Quadrant, so they had a little bit easier. Now there were the episodes like where the robbery, like where they're gonna go steal. So there was an active transwarp conduit they wanted to steal, and so they did like a whole thing for that. And then obviously you have the main character of Seven of Nine, and her whole thing. And you know what? We're not on a. This is not a child show. So I'll just say this: Borg boobs.
Mhm.
There's only two sides to Seven of Nine right now. I'm just kidding. Honestly,
Yeah.
and I don't want to be
Yeah.
because I don't want to be cruel here. Jerry Ryan, the actress who played Seven of Nine, she is actually an amazing actress. I think
Mhm.
if you watch the episodes in Star Trek Voyager, you'll see that, and as especially with the Doctor, Robert Picardo, the two of
Mhm.
them play off of each other so well. It's like a
Mhm.
well. I don't know how to describe it exactly, but the two of them, like you put them in an episode together, boom, boom, boom. And obviously, I'm not talking about like sexual energy. I'm talking about like personal energy. And the two of them, oh God, together, they are so good. They are so good together. Better, way better than season 7, where they tried to like put Chakotay with Seven of Nine, like they're having a romantic thing, and it's like, you know,
Oh,
that doesn't
that's like
work. That doesn't
that's
work.
like Deanna Troy and Worf having
Oh
a
yeah, yeah,
romantic.
the very
Yeah.
end of whatever. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Oh man.
But long story short, let's just say this. 'Cause let's kind of like wrap this up a little bit here. I'll just
Sure.
say this.
Yeah. Sorry, I kind of derailed
No,
that
no, no,
there, but
no, you didn't at all. Actually, you were very informative. I'll just say this. The Borg are great. They're a great adversary. They play well with the other characters. They represent an evil that they don't even know about it. However, that evil is also an understandable. It's a sympathetic evil, which is, this is why, they came to be what they are. But anyways, long story short, that's what I think. Any other thoughts before we go,
I like
Tom?
the
Or...
Borg. I think when TNG when I was watching it growing up, we actually got like an action figure of Locutus
Oh,
and a few other Star Trek toys. I should see if I can find some of those.
you should.
But and maybe I can bring them out
That would be
for another
amazing.
episode.
That'd be amazing
But
if you could.
yeah, if I can find them, I think I have some Jurassic Park toys. Uh,
That'll be another episode.
but yeah, no, I just I should go through my toys and we could like talk about stuff with those
Sure.
toys.
Well, everyone
But
else, yeah. So like, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, comment, share, do whatever you want to do. All right. Everyone else, yeah. Have a great night. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
good night.